This is Grinstar, and today I'm going to be looking at trying to make a vector synthesis style Bitwig instrument, namely of Arturia instruments, but you can use anything that you want. I'm just using them because I want to. Vector synthesis is kind of interesting. It's a type of synthesis that we have that was made popular by the instrument that I'm looking at right now, which is the Prophet VS. I think. If I know that, like, everywhere I hear vector, there's the cube that has it. There's a really popular hardware that has it, and basically the magic stems around this little thingy right here. Is what it does is this little knob right here has the 4 different waveforms in the different locations, and when you move the knob, it kind of changes around the sound. So if you have like a square, it goes from square to sine to like say triangle or something. This is like manually doing it, and realistically you can't do that while you're playing keys. So they have this little envelope over here that kind of moves it for you, and this is kind of, you could think of this as like knob automation. So basically the knob starts off from over here, then moves down to here, and then goes over to here. And this is kind of considered vector. So I was thinking, how could we emulate that in Bitwig? And one of the ways I came up with is using this XY instrument. But aside from recording your movements on here, and the automation kind of is, you have to automate it, you have to record it, and it's not really static. It doesn't move around other than when you're playing it. It doesn't really help. And I want to actually create an instrument rather than depending on recording a Bitwig. So you'll see this VCVRack setup. This VCVRack has this XY pad module, which is pretty kind of cool and unique. With it, you're able to record a path in the when you press a key, the path follows. So let me press the A. And that, what I have is I have the X coordinates, the Y coordinates, the negative X coordinates, the negative Y coordinates, being that this is an XYGrid, and everything over here is positive, or let me think. I think this starts off with 0. Everything over here is positive. This is negative to 1. This is negative to both. This is positive to 1, negative to both, opposite this, realistically. So basically these all 4 send out to this CV to MIDI CC. So I'm literally sending out these coordinates through a CC. We have 23, 24, 25, 26 coming out here. And in this XY instrument, I literally am hearing 23, 24, 25, 26. And if I hit a key, all right, it's not moving here. Let me exaggerate the movement a bit. And when I hold down or sustain a key, you see the movement of this XY pad mimic the movement of the XY pad here. So if we do this, much like what the VS Prophet would do, or the Prophet VS would do, it would move the joystick to the correct area. And then on the XY pad, I have every one of the corners, I have it to a different instrument. So I have the Prophet on here. I have the CMI V on here, which has the choir. I have on C, I don't have anything. And on D, I have the CS80. So if I wanted to, I could say, let's say the Salina on C, so when it moves to C, you can hear. Now, since this is it's in VCVRack and there's modulars, a whole bunch of things in here. Like I can vary the speed. I can vary how much it autoplays. This gate right here is coming in from the gate from the outside. And because of that, I had to actually go to two external sources, one CC source and one MIDI source, so we can actually hear it outside. But what I could do is I could remove this gate, or this line right there, and actually put in an arbitrary gate from somewhere else. Okay, so what I have done is I've hooked a simple clock of 120 BPM. I can adjust the BPM all I want. I can slow it down, or I can speed it up. And then I put it to a sequencer here that I'm saying on every time it gets to this, and you can see the little red light there and how fast it's going across. So if I speed up the clock, it's going to scream across. And then it'll see it's there, and basically I have to probably do it like this. Oh no, too fast. But every time it hits the lit up ones, it'll send out a gate. The gate goes in there, and then this screams across. Ultimately, it gives a pretty wild sounding instrument that's creative only by both the trail that you give it, so the vector that you give it, and the inputs or the devices that you have set up. So I can have a guitar on one, I can have a bass on one, and it can run through and do all the different things that you need to do based upon it. And you can set it up with the effects and all kinds of other stuff. And not just instruments, but you could do this with effects too, because there's an XYGrid also. So let me change this one. I'm getting tired of it. I don't like the sequencer much. I'm just gonna put the thing back on the normal gating. Overall, entirely different instrument. Starts off with one instrument, creates something else. Of course, the XY instrument is already known for doing that, but it's awfully manual. But like I said, you can record it and stuff like that. But under this type of conditions, you can draw a vector path and actually have it play through using the MIDI gate. So once again, let me clear this out. What I did is I started with the MIDI to CV, and then I took this gate and put it into the XY pad module. And you can look that up in the VCVRack. And then I just took each of the XYs, put it out to a channel using this CV to MIDI CC out. So that sends CC out depending on the CV or the control voltage that's coming through. And then I did a straight bypass from the octave and the gate so that it would pass basically this yellow to yellow here. Because if I don't have it, you see the yellow is not getting through. It's not going through the VCVRack. It's actually causing it to stop. And so it's not going through the instrument. So you have to have some way of getting the information through. So I put in a secondary thing, and thank God it works. So I can have the output. So this outputs MIDI and this outputs CC MIDI or MIDI CC. So if I do it fast, plucky, it has one thing, but if I sustain it, overall kind of a cool effect. And so kind of making vector synthesis possible in VCVRack-ish if you want to go that route. Thought about the vector because right now the hardware version of this by the company that I'm gonna butcher the name for, Beringer, they put out a hardware miniaturized version, and it looks interesting. It's got a really cool price point for $100 for a little hardware synthesizer. And I'm very interested. And my YouTube is filled with videos right now recommended because I keep watching them. And because it fascinates me. And because basically this little part right here of how it gets its sounds is truly really wild. See, this is it going right now. And it's just looping through these right here. So I'm like, that's really cool. How can I do that in Bitwig? And thus I came up with this concept. Hope you liked the video. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Thank you very much. And thank you for the 500 subscribers. Thank you very much. And I will catch you later.